Well, hello there. So we're going to play a little bit more with file permissions and dig in a little bit into umask today. Hope you all enjoy this. So let's get connected to my instance and I'll clear that so you don't have to see it. The first thing I want to do is I have temp here that I worked with last time, okay? I want to show you something kind of interesting. So permissions are basically 1, 2, and 4. And those are execute, write, and read. In fact, I'm going to do space, control C, 1, space, 2, space, 4. That way you can see it a little better as we're talking about control C. And you can just do math with this. So if I want to have read, write, and execute, read, write, and execute, all of them, it's 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. If I want read and write, it's 6. If I want read and execute, it's 5. If I want write and execute, it's 3. So I actually see a lot of config files that are set up this way. So let's just test this a little bit. So remember, in order to change permissions, as long as we own it, we should be able to do it fine. So chmod, and let's set 1 to all 7s, 777. And let's choose, why don't we choose 6? It's at the bottom. Oh, changing permissions up. Oh, that's because I'm no longer the owner of this, okay? So let's choose one that I own. We're going to choose this one, temp. In fact, let's do this. Touch a ... G. I don't know. Okay, so I just created A through G. That'll give us something to play with. So, chmod, 777 A. And let's do chmod 1, 2, 4 B. And let's do chmod 2, 2, 0 C. And let's do chmod 3, 1, 5 D. Let's touch LTRH. Oh, let's just do, ls-ltrra. You know, let's remove all these numbers first. Sudo rm. I don't own all of them. 1 space 2. That way we'll be able to still see this part right here, because we'll have a little more room. So ls-ltrh. So we can see what we did here, up here. We can see A set 777 does read, write, execute, like I mentioned, for all of them. So remember, let's do our little numbers here. 1 space 2 space 4. And control C, so I don't run it. And then this is execute space write space read. And I'll do control C, so I don't run it. Okay, so the first one that we did was A, which is down here. We did 777, so it should be read, write, and execute. We can see we did it for the first 7 is for the owner, the user. The next 4 is for group, so we did a 7 there. And the next 4 is for other, so we did 7 there. Now, if we look at B, we did 1, 2, and 4 for B. So 1 should be execute. So the first one is for the user who's here. So that's for B. So we should have given ourselves execute. Great. For group, we gave 2, which is right. So we come here, there's the 2 for right. And then we did, for the last one, we did read. 4 is read. 4, read. Now for C, we did 220. So 2s are WW, right? So we should have right here for the user, here for the group, and nothing for other. So this is really useful. I like using the numbers, but you have to think a little bit. How I remember this is the most important permission is usually execute, and that has the smallest number. And then why is there a space here at 3? It's because 2 plus 1 equals 3. So it's really cool that I've seen config files where it does things like this all the way up into the thousands. And you can do a lot of cool things just with a number. And it sets all these different things because of one number. Now the number could be rather large as you add them all together. But what you need to do is you always need to be one more. So if we added one more to this, it would need to be 8. And if we added one more to that, it would be 16. Okay? So the more you add, the greater the distance between the numbers, because it has to be able to handle these in between being added. Cool. Now I also want to show you umask. So umask, and we're going to ignore the first part right now, is basically what should be removed when I'm creating something. So if I touch 1, now that I've gotten rid of it, ls-ltrh. So if we look here, 1, it got rid of 2, which is right. Now, since it's a file, not a folder, execute was also removed. Okay? So I can set a different umask, and I can say umask, for example, let's give everything to user. Let's only remove execute from group, and then let's give nothing to everyone else. So, and I hit enter, and now if I touch 2, ls-ltrh, I can see that 2, it didn't give me execute because of it's not folder. So this, it removed execute, but it would remove it out of folder and gave nothing here. Let's create a folder. mkdir folder 1. So here we can see it left the execute in, but it removed it here. Okay. So the umask is pretty cool. Now you can do the umask differently. So for example, I can say umask u equals read, write, execute, comma, group equals, and leave it blank for none, and other equals, and leave it blank for none. And now if we touch 3 and mkdir folder 2, we can see that that new umask has been applied. So this was created differently than this one, and this one was created differently than this one because we have a umask that's been set for our environment. Now, all I've set it for is temporarily for this session. If I exit and get back in, it's going to go away. So in fact, exit, and I'll just get back in, and I'm in folder temp, cd temp, and if I mkdir folder 4, ls-ltrh, we can see folder 4 had different permissions because I had logged out and logged back in, so it set it back. This is where there's some files that I have my students explain to each other earlier, or maybe it's later, I can't remember. We'll probably go through those later because I think, so let me just quickly show you where that is. So if I grep umask from, I'm going to do my home directory /dot/bash star. Here I have some umasks that are set. Oh, this is bash history. So there's nothing there. But if I look at, you know what, there's some other folders there. Let's see, ls/ltrh ~/ Oh, it is bash rc. Let's just use ~/. So bash rc. So bash star should have got that one. Okay. So I think it's in the bash, etc bash. So let's do the same thing, but instead of my home directory /etc bash star. So there's should be a couple files here, but it looks like it's in bash rc. So bash completion, there's bash rc, there's also, that's probably it. So, but bash rc is setting the umasks here, and there's an if statement, so you can find out which one it's set to. Now, if I want to override this, I can put it in my files in my home. So let me go to my home directory. So here I have some special files that I can use to configure my environment when I log in. And some of them, they actually run at different times. So that will be in a later video. We'll dive into that a little deeper. But you can edit these so that it works better for you. I don't often do that because I often help people and they're not going to have my edits there. So I just want to have to set things up if I want it. So for example, one thing I often do is set-o vi, because I love to use vi. And then I can actually search back through my history for umask and get to a prior one and just hit enter. Okay, so there's some really cool things. I can use vi commands at the command line. So let's see, I want to show you one more thing. So ls, let's come into temp, ls-ltrh. It's getting big, but we're going to show you something else. So we can do chmod plus T on folder, we'll take folder 4. And then I also want to do chmod 177 folder 2. Oh wait, sorry, 1777. Notice I used 4 there instead of 3. And then one more. I want to do, I think, well, we'll get that later. ls-ltrh. So you can see I did special things with folder 2 and folder 4. And it actually has this T bit set over here. Okay. Anyway. And I did that by adding the T or putting 1 up front. I wonder, I'm trying to remember what 2 is. Let's do 2 on folder 1. And let's do 700. So here we did a sticky bit on group. I think is what it is. So there's different special permissions that you can play with. Let's do one more thing. Let's say there's one of these files I definitely don't want anyone to delete. Let's say it's F. I can do chattr, chattr, and I'm going to add the immutable flag to F. And it won't let me because I need to do sudo There we go, ls-ltrh. And one of the things you can see is it doesn't look like anything changed at all. But watch this, rm-rf star. That's a dangerous command. I'm not allowed to remove f, but let's see, ls-ltrh. Everything else is gone, but I can't remove f. rmf, not permitted. Sudo, not allowed. I have to sudo chattr minus the immutable flag on f. ls-ltrh rmf. Gone. Okay, we went through a lot today. I hope this has been helpful. We'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.